This is Genesis 49 and 20. Out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. I'd like to start off by saying, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, call Haloyan La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bahakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect I scattered abroad, the Akim and the Aquat that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shawab Amawan back at you with another lesson. And what I want to go into, all right, is, this war on Venezuela, all right, the reason why, okay, which the Venezuelans come from the tribe of Asher, okay. Now, what I just read was Genesis, the 49th chapter, verse 20. All right. Out of Asher, his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. All right. And going into Genesis 49, all right, it was basically, Jacob telling his 12 sons, all right, before he passed that, the things that will, happen to them in the latter days, all right, meaning in the times right now. You see, and this is also how we're able to justify that they are the 12 tribes of Israel, all right, through the spirit, all right. But going straight into the point, all right, I have, excuse me, I have a picture here, all right, it's lucky, and it says Navy's largest warship. All right, Navy's largest warship arrives in the Caribbean, prepared to attack. Excuse me, prepared to attack. Okay, and then it says,
mind on what you'd like to do for as far as action.
I sort of made up my mind there. I mean, I can't tell you what it would be, but I sort of made up.
Mind on what you'd like to do for as far as action.
I sort of made up my mind there. I mean, I can't tell
so
you
he's talking about, they're asking him about Venezuela, right? And he has basically made up his mind on going to war with Venezuela. Okay. Now let me play one more part of this video.
All deployed U.S. warships are now in the Caribbean with the arrival of USS Gerald Ford, the newest and largest warship in the U.S. Navy's inventory, joined by dozens of other warships, including guided missile destroyers, have a few guided missile cruisers in there, Lake Erie, USS Iwo Jima, an amphibious assault ship, of course, loaded out with 2,000 Marines in full combat load. All taking place, of course, just here off the coast of Venezuela. And don't forget, we have B-52 bombers from Barksdale Air Force Base in Louisiana. We have fifth generation F-35 fighter jets in Roosevelt Roads, Puerto Rico over here. That's an old Navy base that has been shuttered for many years. Now, 25% of all deployed U.S. warships are now in the Caribbean with the arrival of USS Gerald Ford, the newest and largest warship in the U.S. Navy's inventory, joined by dozens of other warships, including guided missile destroyers, have a few guided missile cruisers in there, Lake Erie, USS Iwo Jima, an amphibious assault ship, of course, loaded out with 2,000 Marines in full combat load. All taking place, of course, just here off the coast of Venezuela. And don't forget, we have B-52 bombers from Barksdale Air Force Base in Louisiana. We have fifth generation F-35 fighter jets in Roosevelt Roads, Puerto Rico over here. That's an old Navy base that has been shuttered for many years. Now, 25% of all deployed.
All right. So, Flake, I played it twice so we can really listen to what he's saying. All right. So they have a potential war with Venezuela. All right. Now, you got to ask yourself, why? All right, give me 1 second, Salaki. So you have to ask yourself why. All right, especially, you have all these different types of warships, right, ready to go to war with Venezuela. Like Venezuela is this crazy threat. All right. And you have to understand, this is a poor ass country, you see, a very poor country. As a matter of fact, let me rephrase that. All right, to the United States, all right, it's a poor country, right? But they're actually very rich, okay, and a lot of resources. All right, let's read that one more time in Genesis 49, all right, and 20. It says, out of Asher his bread shall be fat, okay, and he shall yield royal dainties, okay. When you go into, let me see something real quick. All right. Okay. When you go into these words in the interlinear, right? Out of Asher, his bread shall be fat. Okay. Bread, all right. And the way I look at it through the spirit, all right. You know, his bread, the word bread goes into actual bread, food, grain, okay. Bread, corn, food in general, okay. Or you know how Jake is, you know, we making our bread, you see, we getting that money, all right. How Jake would basically say it. So, you know, they actually make a lot of money. All right, maybe not the whole country and the rest of the country's poor, but see, the government makes a lot of money. Okay, all for their resources because the real what's really going on this war in Venezuela is because they're trying to take over the resources of this place. All right, they are known to be 100% the top for oil. Okay, and we know that this devil loves to wage war. Okay, on people to take their resources. All right. We know that this devil, all right, whenever you have a certain type of resource you want, okay, he'll literally go up in your country and pretty much, you know, persecute and unalive everybody in there, all right, just so they can take over that whole entire country. Remember, Esau's blessing is the fatness of the earth. Okay, so he has literally his hands in every country somehow, some way. Okay, he was also given the sword, the blessing of the sword, and to have the blessing of the sword goes into, you know, having that military power, having weapons. You know, in the ancient world, you know, it was actually about having weapons. All right, but now we don't use those same type of weapons that they did in the ancient world. Okay, now, you know, his blessing of the sword is literally his military power. Okay. So when I looked up, look up a couple things real quick and bring it out. All right. I asked Google, does Venezuela in that area have lots of oil? Okay. And it says, yes, the area of Venezuela that was once a major oil producing region. All right. Which that's crazy that they just switched, they literally switched it up again. All right, this devil knows when we're about to make a video and literally put him out there. All right, it says just the area of Venezuela that was once a major oil producing region, all right, has a large amount of oil. Venezuela as a whole has the world's largest proven oil reserves in the Orinoco Orinoco, Orinoco Belt, all right, region in particular contains massive deposits of extra heavy crude oil. Okay, you see, so at the same time that they're actually a poor country, all right, they are actually a very rich country, and it's more of the governments that are rich. You see, it says the Maracaibo Basin. This region contains roughly 15% of Venezuela's proven oil reserves and is a major source of the crude oil exports, as its oil is easier to extract than the extra heavy crude found elsewhere. Then you have the Orinoco Belt. This area has the world's largest deposit of heavy crude oil, with estimates of technically recoverable reserves ranging from 380 to 652 billion barrels, okay, according to Wikipedia. Overall reserves, Venezuela's total oil reserves both proven and unproven, are estimated to be more than twice of Saudi Arabia's states. You see, uh, Wikipedia says oil reserves in Venezuela. It says the proven oil reserves in Venezuela are recognized as the largest in the world, totaling 300 billion barrels. Okay, and this was at the time of January 2014. Okay, imagine how much more now. All right. I also asked Google. All right, not Google, Slovakia, the chat. All right, let me just, 'cause I screenshotted all that. Can't be, got to make sure you screenshot it right off the rip, because Esau take that shit down when you try to go back into it, and then he gives you a whole different answer. All right, 1 second. So I asked a question to the chat, and it says, and I asked him, is the war on Venezuela about oil? And it says, that's a very good and complicated question. Short answer, yes. Oil is one of the major factors in U.S. and Venezuela tensions, but it's not the only reason. Here's a breakdown of why people say that the war or pressure on Venezuela is about oil, and where things are more announced. It says key reasons why oil is central to the conflict. Venezuela's massive oil reserves. Venezuela has some of the largest proven oil reserves in the world. Its oil is often heavy crude, which is valuable for certain refineries, especially in the United States. You see, it says the country has historically depended on oil revenues. A large share of its government budget, at times over half, comes from oil exports. Okay. It says sanctions. Number two, sanctions target the oil sector. Many of the U.S. sanctions are Venezuela are specifically aimed at PDVSA, Venezuela's state oil company. Okay. Then it says, Slovakia. Hold on. Gotta make sure. It says these sanctions make it harder for Venezuela to access financing, buy equipment, or maintain its oil infrastructures. There's evidence that production dropped significantly, in part because of these restrictions. Number three, strategic oil interests. It says some analysts argue that the U.S. or certain U.S. interests view Venezuela's oil as strategically important, not just for volume, but the type of crude. If Venezuela's oil flow is disrupted by sanctions or potential military action, it could have a ripple effect in global oil markets. Okay, if you see what's going on, all right, this is why there's war being put out in Venezuela, man, because of the times that we're entering, man. You got this devil that's ready to affect us in so many different ways, from every angle you could possibly name. All right, these elites, they come at you in every aspect of life because they have knowledge, okay, on the left hand side of every aspect of life. All right, here it is, they're waging war against our food, you know, our water. Here it is, they're waging war on all this oil. You see, this devil's about to make some heavy moves. Okay, it says, Salakia. It says Maduro himself has accused the U.S. of trying to seize control of Venezuela's oil, among other resources. And this is the chat, man. This is the chat telling you this. See, but here it is. This devil will lie to you in your face on national TV, social media, right? Telling you that he's waging war for a different type of reason. Okay. Oh yeah, the drug trade, the drug trafficking. You know, it's bullshit. Even if they were going for the drug trafficking and all that, man, who are the ones that let all these things go about, man? All right. United States. United States is one of the biggest criminals when it comes to drug trafficking, man. They allow all these things. You see? So don't let them fool you and tell you that they're going out there to wage war on them for those type of reasons, man. They going out there to take resources like they always have done. This devil's a person that constantly, He's a thief. As a matter of fact, let's grab that. All right. This is John 10. All right. Let's lock here. One second, so let me get it from the 1611 because I got it open in the interlinear on the other one. This is John 10. All right. And John 10 and 10. It says, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that I might have life, that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. Okay. So the thief, we know that is who? We know that's Esau Edom, man. Everything he touches, he steals, man. Everything that he gets his hands on, man, he tries to destroy it. All right. Because he has no home, because he's a vagabond. You see, a vagabond, a wanderer in the earth that has no culture, man. So he comes to every country to steal their cultures, to steal their resources, to take over the land, because that's the blessing that the Lord gave him, the fatness of the earth. All right. Literally, to have the fatness of the earth is for you to have your hands on everything in the whole entire world. All right. This is the only devil that has his hands in every piece of land. And I wouldn't even say every piece of land, because this devil only probably has explored maybe about 30 to 40% of the earth. You see, the Lord won't allow him to completely explore the rest of the 60%. If he was to do that, all right, this devil would just straight up freaking destroy everything, man. Everything. You know, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah. Okay, so a thief come not but to steal and to kill and to destroy. All right. See, Yahweh comes to give you life, man, that they might have it more abundantly. Okay. So going back, all right, to the chat, it says, going down to part 4. Okay. I'll read the last part I read. Maduro himself has accused the U.S. of trying to seize control of Venezuela's oil, among other resources. Okay, the other resources is the dainties, the royal dainties that Asher has, man. All right, Asher is known for like the greatest meats, you know, the greatest meats in the world. Okay, they have their fruits and their vegetables are very pure. You see, and this devil's going there to steal these things also, which is nothing new, man. He does that to every country. Okay. And this is how you know that, you know, Asher is part, you Venezuelans, right? You Colombians, you Brazilians, you know what I'm saying? You are part of the tribe of Asher, okay? Which I'll break that down in a second in Genesis 49, right? So going into political players, right? It says Russia is involved in Venezuela's oil industry. You see that? Now here comes America that's trying to take something that basically Russia is involved with their oil industry. This is why Ezekiel 38 says that he's going to be a guard onto these nations. And what did you just hear not too long ago? That if they're going to wage war against Venezuela, Russia's going to be there to attack and help the Venezuelans. You see why? Because now you're messing with the oil that also is in cahoots with Russia. You see, so man, this is all biblical prophecy that's happening. Okay, Russia is involved in Venezuela's oil industry. It helps with refining. All right, Salakia. Let me just grab it. It says refining and has joint ventures there. Okay, this means the conflict isn't just about the U.S. versus Venezuela, but it's also a part of a larger geopolitical struggle, energy, influence, and alliances. Okay. Now it says other important factors beyond oil. Okay. Let me make sure. Oh, damn, I ain't screenshot that part. Damn, I ain't screenshot that part. It's all right, though. It says political regime change. Part of U.S. pressure is, let me see if it's still in the chat real quick. I doubt it's in the chat. I'd be surprised if it, yeah, it's gone out the chat. All right, I'll still just bring out whatever I have. All right, so it says key reasons why oil is central to the conflict. Okay. Let me make sure. Hold on, hold on. The way I screenshotted this was all over the place. Okay. So going back, right? Oh damn, I screenshotted that shit twice like that. Okay. I messed up on that. All right, so it says what do experts think? Okay. Okay, never mind. I got it right here. It says other important factors beyond oil. Political regime change. Part of the U.S. pressure is about political legitimacy, democracy, and regime change. Some U.S. actions are framed around criticizing Maduro's government, human rights, and democracy. There are also claims about human rights abuses, corruption, and lack of democratic processes in Venezuela that motivate international criticism. Drug trafficking. Some of the more recent U.S. military activity in the Caribbean related to Venezuela has been justified by the U.S. officials as part of efforts to combat drug trafficking. You see, this is the lies right here, man. Economic crises, right? Venezuela's internal economic collapse, hyperinflation, mass migration, social instability is a huge part of the story. Okay, which that's also a lie, man. All right, they've been, man. Listen, what has their hyperinflation got to do with us? Okay, what is their mass migration? All right. Now I know that you got a lot of immigrants coming into the United States from these countries. Okay, but still, what is the hyperinflation over there got to do with over here? Okay, social instability. Okay, what has that got to do with over here at the end of the day? All right, I can see the problem with the immigrants. All right, but the rest of it got nothing to do with us. And see, this is why USA is always sticking a damn nose in some place they don't need to be. All right, and that's why the Lord wants to take this damn devil out already, because it will never stop, man. As a matter of fact, let's grab Obadiah real quick. All right, Obadiah 1. All right, Obadiah 1 and what was I? 1 and 5. All right, and it says, if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they have not stolen till they have had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? You see, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All right, this devil will continue to keep taking and taking until nobody has anything and he has it all. Pinky in the brain status, the world in the palm of his hand. This is what this devil's about, you see? And here it is, you got niggas just trying to save these other nations, man. All right, trying to save Esau, Edom, and leave a spot in there for him. This devil has to completely be taken out of the way. All right. This is why all the men, as it says here in the 7th verse, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee over, even over to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. You see, here it is that they'll speak sweetly with their lips, man, but they imagine how to throw thee into a pit. This is why the Lord said, never trust thine enemy, because see, he'll try to make peace with you, right? Like just like in the times of when it came to our people. All right, when they came over here, Christopher Columbus and all them came over here and they tried to make peace treaties with Gad, man. All right, they was trying to act like they was peaceful with them, but they were trying to draw swords the whole entire time, as the scriptures say, right? Psalms 55. All right, the words were smoother than butter. Okay, but they had war in their heart. All right, so they always have a plot behind the back of their mind, man. Something bigger than what it is, you see. So it says, shall I not in that day, save the Lord Yahweh, even destroy the wise men? So let me finish reading that. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat the bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. You see, they have to be cut off because everything that they do goes back to violence, man. All right, pillage, okay, graping, you know, genocide. That's what these devils is about. This is Proverbs 4:16, and it says, "Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away." And why is the Lord telling you this? Because for they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and they sleep, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. You see, they are that border of wickedness, man. You see, so everything that he does, man, he oppresses everybody. Let's grab Micah 2:1, and it says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand." You see, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, man. So they're able to do these moves on a easy basis, man. It says over there. All right. It says, "And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, and even a man in his heritage." Okay. And that ain't just to you Israelites. That's the main people they do it to. All right. But they do it to all these other nations, man. You see, and that's why these nations eventually will all turn against America. They're all going to say to themselves, it's going to either be us or America, you know, and they must rather choose to destroy America, all right, which eventually the Lord going to destroy all of them. Okay, so let's go back to, it says, "What do experts think?" All right, and this is in it says, in the chat, "According to the Council on Foreign Relations, oil has been a backbone of Venezuela's economy and is declined due in part to poor maintenance and sanctions. It is a key in the country's crisis." See, they're a poor country already, but the things that help them to stay alive and stay afloat is this oil, you see? And now he's trying to wage war on the only resources that they have, you know, completely wiping them out and making them just completely poor now, you see? So it says, "Energy policy experts note that some U.S. sanctions or tariffs seem to be tied not just to punishing the Venezuelan government, but also, yeah, and why they're trying to punish them? Because they don't want to comply with them. You see, they're not trying to give up the only thing that they have left. But see, this devil will just say, okay, well, let's find a way to take them out of the way. Let's start blowing up their ships. You know, let's start blowing up their boats when you just see a bunch of innocent ass people and they'll tell you that, oh, they were carrying all these drugs, man. They just blowing shit up like little kids right now, man. They just playing battleships right now. Battleships all day long. Okay. Whatever they see that's coming around that area, they're going to blow it up, you know, to put fear. You see, because that's what this devil's about, man. The biggest weapon of mass destruction that this devil has is him trying to put fear in people. Okay, that's his biggest weapon of mass destruction, is the fear. And this is why the Lord tells you, is reaching out to you on a constant basis, man, to come and turn back to the Lord, because the only hope you have is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. See, when you have this word, the Lord didn't give you the spirit of fear, man, but he give you the sound mind, you see? So, you know, continuing on, it says, but also the influence in who has access to its oil and how much production can recover. And on the other hand, U.S. Government Accountability Office reports show that while the sanctions removed a lot of Venezuelan oil from U.S. supply, it didn't dramatically shift U.S. oil prices immediately. So it says that the report showed that while sanctions removed a lot of Venezuelan oil from U.S., you see, so that's why this devil coming at them hard, because they were literally taking away the resources from the United States, and the United States didn't like that shit, man. You see, so they just said, all right, well, we're just gonna go up into your country and we're just gonna bring out straight war. You know, we'll go over there and take all your oil. Okay, remember, they're the number one supplier. Okay, why would they go across seas, right, to Saudi Arabia and places like that to go get this oil? Okay, when they can just go straight down, right down south to South America, closer. It's closer to them. You see, so they want to take complete, hold of that area, so they have total control of it, man. All right, it says bottom line, Salaki. Bottom line, it says, yes, control over oil is a very real part of why there's intense pressure on Venezuela. But it's not a pure oil grab. Other factors like politics, ideology, and strategic rivalry also play big roles. Yeah, the rivalry, the rivalry is between the Israelites and Esau. You see, that's the deep part that people don't understand, that won't even ever wrap their head around it unless you have this truth, man. You see, it says why exactly, oh, it's like what actually happens in the result of overlapping motivations, economic leverage, geopolitical strategy, and domestic U.S. politics all intersect. Okay, now that was the end of the chat. So now let's go and break down, all right, real quick, Genesis 49 to show you that this is all all together. All right, this is Genesis 49 and 20. It says, out of Asher his bread shall be fat. Okay, when you go into that word bread, all right, let's see what bread says. All right, it says bread, food, grain, right, in general. All right, let me see what it says in the Gesenius Hebrew. Okay, nothing. Now you go into that root word, all right, and it goes into
Strong's H3898. Lachem.
Lachem, right?
Lachem.
So it goes into to fight, do battle, make war. Okay, so see, this is why there's war out there. It's all spiritual, man. All right, it says to fight, to engage in battle, wage war, to eat, use as food. Okay, now going down to the Strong's definitions, it says by implication to battle as destruction. All right, devour, eat, ever fighting, overcome, prevail, and warring, and make war. Okay, so now that word, the next word would be out of Asher, right? His bread shall be fat. Okay, let's go into that word fat, which goes into
Strong's 8081. Shemin.
Shema.
And second entry.
Shema min.
Shemanim.
All right. So it goes, it says fat, rich, robust of food, right? Stout, robust of men. All right. It says fat on the Strong's definition. It says fat, lusty, plenteous. Okay. See, that's what they are. They're plenteous because they're rich in their land with oil and foods. Now, when you go into this root word, okay, it goes into
Strong's H8080. Shaman.
Right. It says
second entry. Shamain.
It says to be or become fat, grow fat. All right. Strong's definition says to shine, be oily or gross. You see? Okay, so there you go, oily, man, because all the oil that they actually have there, man. You see, everything there is the fatness of their part of their land. All right, is all the resource of oil there, man. Again, it's the number one place in the world that has the most oil. Okay, over 300 billion, okay, barrels of oil. Okay, so that explains exactly why this war is being, waged against them, man. When you go to the Descendants Hebrew, it goes into to be fattened, all right, Metaphorically, yeah, you got to think about it, man. They're fat to produce for oneself. You see, to make fat to produce for oneself. You see, because they produce that oil there, man. Everything that's coming from there that's their bread and that's their money. You see, and then along with the rest of the other stuff, the resources, like I said, they have one of the best meats in the world. Okay, if you've never eaten their steaks and shit like that, man, you should look into it. You know, even though Esau destroying the food resources, but their steaks, you know, when I've gone to their restaurants, man, their steaks are out of this world, man. They come with a certain type of softness and tenderness to it, man. It's not like the regular steaks out here in America. Okay, that's why you'll pay you're not gonna pay an arm and a leg, you know, but you'll pay a decent price, man. And they're gonna take care of you too. They're gonna give you a nice fat chunk, all right, with a plate that you're gonna eat for yourself and take some home. Okay. But continuing on, all right. Then it says, Salaki, it says, out of Asher his breast shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. Okay, dainties going into basically, you know, the food, the delight of food. Okay, pleasure. Okay, cheerfully. All right, which that's what Asher means. All right, happy is he. Okay, excuse me. It says dainty, delicately, delight, pleasure. The root word, hold on. The root word was
4574. Madon.
All right.
Madon.
And then when you go into that root word, it goes into
Strong's H 5727. Adan. Adan.
all right. So it goes into the Strong's definition. It says in the biblical usage, it says to luxuriate. All right, delights oneself. Okay, to be soft or pleasant. All right, which that they are. Those people are humble out there, man. Very humble. Okay, that's why they always happy because they humble ass people. All right, maybe not when they come here to America, because once you come to Babylon the Great, that's it. Your culture becomes destroyed, man. That's why these people can't go back to those countries, man. Because once you come to America, you drink the wine and the fornication of this place, man. Now you just turned yourself into a whole Babylonian, man. You forget your little roots and your cultures, man. All right, but it says to live voluptuously. Okay, to live voluptuously. All right, is what voluptuously means. You know, in a way that is full of or delights in sensual pleasure, luxury, and physical comfort. All right. And when you go to Venezuela, man, they have a lot of rich, nice places out there, man. All right. The women out there are, you know, one of the most beautiful women on planet Earth, you know. So like it goes all in hand, man. Everything over there is a pleasurable place to stay, you know, even though it's a poor country, because why? All these countries is poor because America makes them poor, you know, goes and destroys these places. Remember, Esau has the fatness of the earth. Okay. So that's pretty much the point on that, because that's the end of that actual precept. All right. So out of Asher, his breast shall be fat. All right. So you got to think about it. His money going to be fat. Why? Because of the oil and the resources that they have. And he shall yield royal dainties, man. You know, kingly foods, you know, foods that we're supposed to be eating as Prince of Power. You know, when that time comes, you know, the Lord gonna have us back with those actual foods, man. Eating the kingly food from Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right. But let's just grab I'll end it with this precept because that's pretty much the point. All right. This is 11 in Revelations, and I believe it's 18. Yeah, it says, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shalt give reward unto the servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and thou should destroy them which destroy the earth. You see, and that time is coming, man. All right, this is why Esau coming down on us on with great wrath, because he know that his time is up. All right, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. You see, And the first thing that we're going to do, all right, is put these devils into captivity, man. They're going to be the first fruits of labor. They're going to have to clean up the whole entire earth. They're going to have to clean up all these dead bodies, man. And they're going to get straight ass whoopings daily, all right, from the men of the Lord, all right, starting with Yahushua, because Yahushua going to get his licks first, you see. And then eventually he'll allow the rest of the elect to get theirs, you see, because they have to be destroyed, man. The Lord has to take these devils out because, let's grab Revelations 6:3. All right. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, all right, which that represents Esau. And the power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. You see, he takes away peace from the earth, you see, but not the pride in his heart has deceived him, because he has forgotten that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is a man of war, you see, as it tells you in Exodus, the 15th chapter, all right, I believe it's verse 3, all right, the name Yahweh, all right, I mean, the Lord Yahweh is a man of war. So this is why there's war going all over this place, man, all right, because the Lord is the one that's stirring these things up, all right, he's the one that mustereth the host of the battle, as the scriptures say. So he's bringing up all this war just so it can destroy Esau at the end, you know, and be taken out of the way. And this devil's going to be, I'll end it with this, Job, all right, the 20th verse, I mean, the 20th chapter, all right. And it says, take it from 4, it says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed on earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short and the joy of a hypocrite but for a moment, all right? See, all this triumph that this devil's, you know, boasting in, all right, is is only for a moment. You see, that's why the Lord said that his days are limited, all right? He has limits to everything, man. He only has months left, okay? As a matter of fact, that's in the 14th chapter, real quick, and I'll go back to that, Job 14 and 5, it says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass, you see? So, you know, he has nothing but months left. He don't even have, you know, years. You know, people got to stop looking at like we have years in this place, man. We ain't got years left. We literally got nothing but months, all right? And a month to the Lord is not a month that we think, you see? Because, hey, really, when you look at that and break it down through the spirit, man, this devil's got nothing but seconds left, man. You see? It's about 30 seconds left on the clock, all right? And this devil's about to be finished, you know? His time is about to be up. So going back to Job 20, all right? And 5, it said that the triumphant of the wicked is short and the joy of a hypocrite but for a moment. Though his excellency, all right, his pride, basically, mount up to the heavens, and his head reach onto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. And they which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yeah, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. Yeah, we're not going to see this devil no more, because the Lord said he was going to take him out of the way to begin with, man. If you go to Numbers, all right, Numbers 35 and 33, all right, tells you what, because he has shed blood, he defiled the whole entire land, all right, but see, this land cannot be cleansed until he be taken out of the way, all right. This is, so you should not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood it defileth the land. And see, what you think this devil's going to go out there to do, man? When he go to war, he going to bring total bloodshed, man. All right, just to take over these resources, man. So it says, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. You see? So he has to be taken out of the way. All right. Going back to the 10th chapter in Job 20, it says, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. All right. That's exactly what this devil's going to do. All right. He going to restore everything that he has destroyed. All right. Give us back all our riches, all the things that he has stolen. It says his bones are full of sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Total confusion, man. All right. Thou wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though, it's like it, though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat in his bowels is turned. It is the gall of asp within him. He has swallowed down riches. You see, he has constantly swallowed down riches of other people, man. All right, not respecting. He don't respect nobody, man. He don't even respect himself at the end of the day. Okay, so to he that is evil to himself, to whom is he gonna do good? Nobody. So that's why the Lord sees him not fit to even survive anymore, man, because he's just a spirit that's created for basically for garbage, man. You see, so he was a spirit to create. He was a spirit created basically to whoop our ass and put us back in check to remembering who our power was. All right. It says he has swallowed down riches. He shall vomit them up again. Yahweh shall cast them out of his belly. He shall suck the poison of asps, and the viper's tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, and the brooks of honey and butter. You see why he not going to see those things in the kingdom, man? Because he wanted to make this place his kingdom. He wanted to continue to keep murdering and taking until nobody had enough. You see, till nobody had nothing and he had it all in his possessions. This devil has more than what he can handle. A beautiful part. If you ever see the book of Eli, one of the best parts in there is when you had Mila Kunis was asking Denzel, right? He was asking Eli, why was the earth destroyed? All right. And he said, because people had more than they can imagine. You see, people had more than they can handle in those days. This devil has more than he can ever handle. He got all these riches, and he don't even all he do is just store them and put them away somewhere. He's not even putting them to good use, man. He just a person that just likes to do that shit for drama. You see? So what's going to eventually happen is what? That which he labored for, he shall restore and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein, because he has oppressed and has forsaken the poor, because he has violently taken away a house which he builded not. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. Okay. You see what is wrong with you. Go over there. Over there. Over there. Over there. Doing too much. Go over there. All right. It says, there shall none of his meat be left. Before, therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be straight in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. All right. And when he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it up upon him while he is eating. You see, the Lord going to lift that standard when this devil think that he got the whole entire world in the palm of his hand, man. All right. And I'll end it with this. This is 1:18 and in Obadiah. I'll grab it from 16. It says, just as he swallowed up my people on my holy mountain, so you and the surrounding nations will swallow the punishment I pour out on you. Yes, you or Salak, and this is in the NLT, I'm reading it. Okay. It says, yes, all you nations will drink and stagger and disappear from history. All right. But Jerusalem will become a refuge for those who escape, and it will be a holy place, and the people of Israel will come back to reclaim their inheritance. The people of Israel will be a raging fire and eat them. All right. And let me grab that in the KJV 18. The house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai has spoken it. You see? So that's why at the end of this servitude of 1,000 years that you're going to do, right, which that shit's going to feel like 10,000 years, man. It's going to be, because time is going to go back to how it used to be, real slow. You see? Real slow. See, that the reason time is going so fast is because the Lord is speeding up for the elect's sake. All right. The reason time feels the way it feels is because we living in the time of a Gregorian calendar, man. Okay? The reason time feels the way it feels is because this devil done gave your ass a watch to look at, you know, with hours on it. We didn't have none of that in the ancient world, man. You see? We just knew when it was day, it was day. When it was night, and everything was slow. You know what I'm saying? But now it's just so fast because this place is done for, man. All right? It's deteriorating. Okay? So, you know, the house of Jacob is going to be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. All right? Basically, you're going to have two fires. All right? And Yahweh Shai is going to put Esau as stubble right in the middle of them, man. And we're going to basically just disintegrate this devil forever and ever. He never going to be heard of again, man, because all the wickedness that he has caused upon the earth, you see. And this is an example of why, all right, trying to take over everybody's resources because he has no damn resource, you know. But that's pretty much the point. So, hey, Lord willing that you will edify. So with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, call Halor and La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Shalom Malak, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. And Shalom, Sister Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. Yad. Shalom.